We're at Silver Springs State Park. We're in front of the old Fort King exhibit. This is part of what used to be part of the Jungle Cruise. This is now a ruin. It's just simply deteriorating. And as you can see, I mean, and there's no reason for anybody to keep it up. We're not casting any aspersions on anybody. This is right over the other side of this tree line. You can barely see the top of the trading post. Further on down is the old Indian village, and it's all facade. The back does not mirror the front. It's like those operating gowns you get when you go have an operation. You don't have anything in the back, but everything's in the front. This is no longer part of it. They shut this part down. All they do now is they still do the glass bottom boats, but they don't bring you back here. The upkeep, I guess, was too much. We've been to the other side before, back by the trading post, but the trading post was as far as I was able to get. I didn't have my gaiters. I just didn't feel like I had time, and didn't think it was safe to bushwhack back in here. But this time I have, because I do have the time. I'm taking the time. I wanted to see this up close, and rather than just on the river. The river's right there, so you can see you're not very far from it, but there's nowhere along this part of the river to put in. It's all rock, and it's about 3 or 4 feet high, so you can't just, hop out and scramble on up. You have to be on land. But this is an amazing, to me, this is an amazing accomplishment, amazing find. It's something that has thrilled millions of people from all over the world over a many-year period. It's not a replica, I shouldn't say that, but it's called Fort King, but it's named after the nearby Seminole War fort that is presently under archaeological restoration. But if you were a kid back in the 60s and 70s and 50s and all that, you would have came through here and been just thrilled. Even adults would have dug this, but it's completely a facade. You see the hewn, meant to look like hand-hewn logs, palisades. This is the old Fort King sign is now completely down. Even this was up the last time I was here, and that was less than a year ago probably, that we kayaked here and actually explored on foot the other area. But I've landed about a half a mile or so down in a little alcove to be able to just explore what was there. I didn't realize that I was going to be connecting, but the more I started connecting, the more I realized I should be connecting, because these were all maintained by people who had access in the back. The roads, you wouldn't have seen the access. It was more or less like a Hollywood set, so you wouldn't have seen the access points at going down the river. This is snake heaven in here, baby. I love this. This is so cool. This would have been just an amazing place to see when you're going by, but also as a kid to play in something like this would have just been fascinating. Of course, you wouldn't have been able to do that as a kid back then. There was no stopping off points. The only way to get up here is to do what I did. And as a disclaimer, I do not believe that I have done so illegally. I did not pass one keep out, keep off, keep away, stay out, no trespassing, any kind at all during the time that I've been on land here. So it doesn't look like you can access it from this side. I'm going to go in the other side and access it, because you would have been able to see this part from the river. The river is right, I hope I didn't move that too fast. The river is right here. Jim, it doesn't feel fast when you're doing it, but on screen it looks like crap. Trying not to. I'm just going to get some shots while I'm here, so I don't have to do this twice. Still keep the video rolling. sure I could just sneak right through that little flat there. No, maybe not. And I'm not knocking any of it down to get in there. I can go on the other side or even the front part of it. This is not a relic or ruin on the same line as, you know, Addison Blockhouse or I don't know, Stewart Homestead or some of those other places, but this is really cool. I mean, this is a legitimate. Get your fingers out of the way. This is a legitimate ruin and a legitimate piece of Florida history. Back in the day, I mean, this was it. This was the stuff. This was the junk right here. This was just like Disney World is now. People came far and wide and spent days here on the glass bottom boat, hiking through the forest, doing whatever, going to the zoo. There was a zoo here. There's still remnants of that zoo.
That a real fort?
No. This was part of the exhibit that continued down there.
Okay.
Back in the day, you would have taken one of the boats. Does anybody know any of this? Do you know any of this?
No.
Okay, good. I just don't want to repeat myself. You would come down where you just came down, and there would be Indians and all kinds of people manning the fort, manning the settlement, the village, that sort of thing. And it would have been like a play.
Oh, that's very cool.
Yeah, it was back in the day. It was pretty interesting. Sure. Not every day you get to be helpful to people, but I'm not going in there. That way, I'll go in another way. That's sad. That's a sad commentary, that Fort King sign being sideways like that. Try not to get snake attacked here. You can't really get in from this side either without going through that tree line. I'm not doing that. Okay, so I'm going this way. Going in. I'm going in through here. Hoping that it's going to be reasonably snake-free. And reasonably is a relative term because completely snake-free is what we're looking for. All right, well, we're not going to do too much in here. This is it. You see straight where I'm pointing now, there is no fence. There's only a little part of a fence to maintain the facade on the other side. This was not, how should I say it? This was not seen. This area would not have been seen. That's why there's nothing in here of any note. That's there, but you would have seen that. That's an interior blockhouse, and in real life, that wouldn't have existed on that, like that, high up like that. It might have gone all the way up and down, and there would have been a couple of floors to it. But typically, those structures would have been on the corners. In all the Seminole era war forts, the wooden war forts that we've seen over the years, it's always been on the side. The middle is a parade ground or some sort of a storehouse on the ground, but anything up above would have been on a corner on the side to be able to see what was coming up to the walls. So we're going to shut this down and do some photographing, and we're going to head on out of here. I hear the choppers coming, but they're not coming for me. Well, who knows?